What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Tiggy and the Handler. Of course, I'm Tiggs. That's JR, the handler, sitting right there with me. And it's been a minute since we got to sit down together, kind of do a show. We say that a lot, but it is the truth. We got a lot to catch up on tonight. We've been running around. Life's been lifing, but here we are now, and we're going to get into it. What is up, Brother JR?
Tiggy, my brother Tiggy. Man, it's good to be doing a podcast with you again. I feel like of all the podcasts I do, this one is definitely in the top 3 of all the podcasts I do as far as me being able to enjoy doing the podcast. Multiple reasons. One, it's one of the first ones we've done together, so I always love doing that, even though we did a little name change, same vibe. But it's awesome having a co-host like you that knows a lot of the same things, but a whole lot of different things. And I feel like it makes it, I enjoy doing the podcast solo. I enjoy having when I do it with other people, but with you and I, with your background and my background, I just love being able to bounce back and forth and have not necessarily agree on everything or know exactly, but somehow figure it out and learn a new perspective sometime. And then a lot of times reaffirmation on what I already thought. So yes, I enjoy doing a podcast. Long way of saying yes. Glad to be back. I love doing podcasting with my brother Tiggy, and
yes,
glad we get to do this. I like our rotation. We talked about it on the phone earlier. We're both doing our own podcast, and we're doing this as well, plus other content outside of that. Me still tour managing, you still slinging insurance. So
that's right.
It's and dealing with being adults. I mean, you got to get your daughter's car fixed. My air conditioning and toilet went out yesterday at the same time. And like we were going to record this a few hours ago, but I had emergency go pick up a friend's dog in their running car because they had to go to the emergency room. I mean, this is 40. It never ends. This is 40.
That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. I spent more money today than I've wanted to spend in a long time to come away with nothing that I didn't already have. You know what I mean?
Gotta love that.
Yeah. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. My truck ride's good, though. Bubba, related to this, first time since the BART party that I don't have some kind of a warning that's on my dashboard from either the gas cap hitting on right, doesn't work right because of the wreck, or the tire. I had another flat tire. It's just one of them things. But she's smooth sailing now. It could go back to Tampa if it wanted to.
It's ready for BARP 2026, baby.
It's ready.
It's ready. I might be out there with my thumb this year. If it depends on what weekend it rolls on.
Right.
I am really going to try to make it. Hopefully, last year was just a fluke that we booked a show that the only show we had the whole month was the same Saturday of BARP. So hopefully this year that's not the case. And actually, I did see we have a show around that time, but it's actually near Tampa area. And I don't know if I'm supposed to even say that, so y'all don't go dig around. But yeah, I talked to a promoter, then I actually just saw something come up, and I think we got the thumbs up. There may be like a rodeo type thing down in South Central Florida, down near Tampa area around that same time. So, buddy, if I could get a ride on the bus down there and stay and fly home, or ride home with you,
yes, I think that this could work. I hope this all works out.
And if it works out, and that's around Tammy's birthday again, and if y'all both go, then Sharice might could fly down, meet up with you guys. We could all party together for a few days and then come back, and my brother lives there, so I really hope that can happen. But it's funny you say that talking about spending money and having what you already have. Well, that was me yesterday with getting the AC fixed. I mean, the air conditioner's working fine until it didn't, and then I give my HVAC guy, which luckily I have a guy for that. He's my friend. I give him several $100s, and I've got exactly what I had 6 hours before I did that.
That's right. But hey, look, right now, the way the weather's been, and you're not that far from me, I know it's the same over there. You ain't got that air conditioner. We about to get in a bind. It is getting hot, humid. Just,
as much for the humidity as anything else. I mean, you can get some wind going and get it comfortable, but man, you can't have that humidity up in your house and on your stuff. It's too thick. You just got to have you got to get her done. Some. Yep. But hey, before we get started, I was just thinking of something. This was so random. It was just a random thought. I had interviewed this next whenever I don't know when these are going to come out, but the guy I interviewed on the JR the Handler show, Chris Lee, aka Chris Gaines Comedy. He's a tour manager, but he's done a comedy page on the side for years, and it's hilarious. He's just got some really funny. He would do like these parody things of a country fan watching the ACM awards and stuff, and it's
I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
It got passed around, and he had a lot of love on those because he was nailing them. But anyway, that's who I had on, and I was thinking about the comedy thing, and he was just saying he was always a comedy fan, and I had SNL on before I walked out here, and I was just thinking, humor is great. I mean, and it helps in all situations, sad times, bad times, whatever. It's just good to laugh. And that's just the purest enjoyment is when you're just uncontrollably belly laughing and you can't help it. It's a weird reaction that us humans have because I don't think most animals laugh like we do, but
no,
it's such a joyous thing as a human being able to find something funny, whether it's something you're the only one that caught it and thought it was funny, or as a group setting, stories being told and everyone is just trying to catch their breath, but they can't because whatever is so watching these memes we talk about sometimes. I watch those and I'm just dying because I'm like, oh my gosh, they nailed it. But humor and laughter and funny things are just great. And I was thinking, it doesn't take much to be funny, really. Even little things can make things funny. I was thinking about a couple things intertwining here, but I'm always trying to look for a way to cut out the verbal graffiti that I use, the ums and ands and buts and things when I'm talking. I'm always trying to be cognizant of that while also knowing my limitations as a linguist. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm trying. Half the words I use, I've heard them in a movie or a song, and I'm just trying to hope they work for what I think they mean and things like that to try to sound more educated than I am. And not that I couldn't have been educated. I just chose to goof off my entire life instead of pay attention in any type of schooling I've ever done.
Man, I understand that. I think that's why we're both here.
But I was thinking, something as funny as pausing, because I've tried to learn to do that instead of just thinking I've got to say something. Just pause and wait. And a pause could also be very fun, because you could turn a story from one thing to another with just the pause. We did it in an episode with Blasey, a year ago. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was something. It started getting told, and then we finished it, and it was like, we almost thought it was something else for a minute there. It was just like this I was thinking of. I was thinking, man, yesterday, y'all, I was so high up on the escalator at the mall that when I was looking down, I could barely see the shoe department where I just left.
That pause.
My
God, he's so high.
And that's your imagination wondering. A lot of times it's like dirty stuff. You're like, hey, get your mind out of the gutter. If you say something about, whatever, some meat or something, you know what I mean? Or whatever.
Or Tig's bits, the way you just read this. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's a prime example there. The things like that, you'll see it on something or anyway. But the pause makes it funny. And it can narrate the story with the pause, because it's almost like in between round. You're going this route, you get in between round. Now you get to come back out. Where are you going with that? If you just keep, and I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I'm known to just blah, 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 blah. And that's my normal go-to. But I'm trying to embrace the pause, be a little more steady, a little more composed, and really concentrate on not talking 100 miles an hour, because I know I do it. Everyone's told me that. Most people from where I'm from do the same thing. I get it honest. But I also understand, to a lot of people, it's hard to keep up with the Southern accent and the speed and delivery. Same way, I'm trying to learn Spanish from some of my friends, but they've got to really go slow because naturally it's just too fast.
I think that's a good point. I've been a little more cognizant of slowing down and shutting up to let, whenever I'm having a guest on and I'm interviewing them and I ask them a question, instead of interjecting what I think, and I still am guilty of it, instead of interjecting, but this is the way, and then letting them answer. It's like, you ask the damn question, just let them give you the damn answer. Just shut up. So I listen to myself back in my own podcast, like I know you're doing too, and it's like, God, don't do that again. I already know all of the words and all of the list of all the things I say all the time. I get it. I can't change it though. I mean, I try to keep it mixed up, but I'm always going to go back to the all right and the I love it. I say that a lot. You know, I know I can't help it.
And I try to always tell an anecdotal something from my personal life. And I'm like, it's not that I'm not, and I swear I'm not trying to one up or anything. I'm really just trying to associate the similarities and things like that. But it always like, I've got to tell something else, but it's like, well, I'm just trying to associate so we can have a common thing there. I'm not trying to say mine was more or worse. It was just like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's not from a bad place. It's not from a misguided place or a takeaway. I'm trying, it's actually me at my best attempt to embrace and, help.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
thing,
comedians on Kill Tony, and they have 60 seconds to get their deal out and to make people laugh. A lot of times it falls flat. Sometimes it doesn't. But what I've noticed that a lot of the best ones and the best comedians too, if you think about it, everything in comedy is timing. So you're going and then you pause, and it's always, that's how you deliver. You're exactly right. That pause can be as significant of anything just by how you can play a crowd and what you can do with them. And think about some of the greats, like if we can just go to Southern greats. Jeff Foxworthy, he was the king of doing the pause.
Yep.
That all those comedy, the tater salad and all of it,
and the
all
best,
of those dudes.
even going Richard Pryor when he'd say something crazy and then just pause and look. I mean, Kinnison, and then the pause.
Chappelle does it.
Chappelle,
the pause.
One of the best. Yes, yeah. I love it. Well, I'm going to call that randomness, and I'm going to try to have one of those to kick off the show every week.
I like
just
it.
Randomness, just something random that could be relatable, hopefully, with a lot of people. That just something noticeable. Because I wanted to do grind my gears, but I thought, no, I'll do randomness, and if I grind my gear ends up on the randomness one,
then
week,
there it is. Yeah. See, I love this. We're locking in a format. Y'all stick around, because at the end of this show, we're going to do what's called Tig's Blitz. And we're going to just have some rapid fire, quick questions, 6 or 7 of them. We'll both have a couple, 3 questions for each other, and that'll be fun. So that's,
yes.
I love it. We're starting to put a little format together. So y'all know when you're listening to this, you start to know what to expect a little bit from us. I think that's a big thing.
It is. We have to step it up. There's so many good podcasts on the Bubba Army Network. There's Bubba and those guys are killing it. Seth has done an amazing job. Like I said, Lummy Killmeister for president. And it's the spot we have to, let me word this properly. The responsibility, because of the opportunity and the Bubba Army, just makes us want to up our game even more. It's like we really, it's like you could be the best player in your town, but you want to go represent your state, and
right,
you got to bring it up a level because everybody there's a little better than just your hometown. We're in the Bubba Army. These guys do pro work. We've always had fun with it, but we're locking in that pro level fun with that pro level work. And that's where they're going to mash and live together in harmony.
Yes, I love
Tiggy
it.
and the Handler style. That's how we roll.
Tiggy and the Handler. That's exactly right. And it's starting to come together. I think it's just big for everybody to kind of be able to understand. This is what this show is. You get interviews out of me with some of these food people, something maybe random when you get a Tig's Bits. You get that amazing show that you get with JR the Handler, with his music stuff and all of that, and these amazing interviews and guests that he has on. And then you get this walloper of an amazing show that has a format now. So it's like, thank y'all for being patient. It only took us a year, but here we are. We got it. We got it. But I tell you what, JR, speaking of that, I've got to read this because it was fantastic. And I love it whenever we get some kind of feedback, and we get it a lot, but this one's hilarious. Speaking of funny, so Dusty sent me a message on TikTok, and shout out Dusty, because I know you're going to be listening to this whenever it comes out. Here's what he said: love the show. I'm a longtime Bubba listener and have listened to every episode since you got on BRN. I'm a Hedge UGA fan, but somehow I've gotten some Tiger blood in me and enjoy watching LSU. Also, still not a fan. Keep up the good work and go Dogs. And of course, I responded to him, thank you, just thank you so much. Okay, well, it blows my mind. Even if you are a Georgia fan, we still love you, just having fun like we do. And then he offered to give us some stories, and he went ahead and gave us one. This is great. I think I said something. I said I love, one of my favorite schools to tailgate with is our Georgia fans. I've always had a great experience with them. They get in it. They bring it. I mean, they bring a crowd when they come to Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah.
And they rock and roll. It's fun.
Hey, and for the record, I've had some of the wildest stories and memories in my entire career, early on and later on, in Georgia. Georgia gets passed over. It's got the big, pretty city of Atlanta and all their pro sports. But Georgia is buck wild. It's right north. It's Florida's northern neighbor. Georgia is buck wild. So
Georgia is buck wild.
There's some hollers. There's lots of places to hide. They got all kinds of stuff.
I mean,
a lot of dirt roads.
A lot of dirt roads, a lot of good country music, and musicians have come from there. But I always, yeah, that's right. But I've had, whenever they tailgate with us, I always look at Georgia fans, tailgating fans in particular, as like the redneck, and I mean this in a great way, the redneck version of the Cajuns. They bring it the hardest of any of the schools, redneck style. And I mean that in a good way.
Oh yeah.
I think Georgia is probably underrated for how hard they party and how damn loyal they are. I mean, everybody's school is loyal, but
those guys are super loyal.
They
Georgia fans, unless you were around in 1980 to enjoy it, you waited a long time. I remember Red Akins told me one time that he said when he died, he wanted Atlanta Falcons, some Atlanta Braves, and some Georgia Bulldogs all to carry him to his grave so they could let him down one last time. And but he said he would never not be a fan of any of those. So that, they hang in there through the good and the bad, and they've had a real nice upswing lately. They had that huge fumble in the Super Bowl a while back. Boy, that one stings, I bet. But the Braves are back and have been back. And we got a championship in the modern era, since the 90s. And the Bulldogs, obviously, they rose to power right there at the end of Bama's run and are in contention still.
Yeah, they can go away, but their fans are great.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with all the above. I've had a great time. And we used to play frat parties there. I've told those stories on air. We used to play at this house. I remember one time we got double booked with Zach Brown.
Oh, really?
When he was on his way up. And across the way would be Jason Williams, which is Jason Aldean now, and Luke Bryan and Corey Smith. I mean, everybody was playing fraternity parties. Colleges were always a good place to get a check. And on big game weekends, every fraternity had a big band, and then there was stuff on campus and off campus, and the bars all had it. So had some great times up there, and it's a beautiful campus up there in the mountains. I mean, played the Georgia Theater a few times over the years. I remember Wayne Mills' band, we actually sold it out right after John Mayer recorded that video there. He shot a music video. One of his early big music videos was shot at the Georgia Theater. And then we played it not long after. This would have been, 2003, 4 maybe. And great times. Anyway, Athens, Georgia, good times.
Oh yeah. Well, here's what he said, and it's just here's what Dusty said. We used to be fun, but the school decided they wanted the Atlanta people to drive over and drive home after the game. The Coliseum parking lot used to be nuts. About 200 campers for every home game. We had a camper we called Tin Cup. I woke up one morning and there was 12 people in it. It was only 20 feet. One guy used the brake pedal for a pillow and ran the brake lights all night, and that killed the battery. That parking lot is now a parking deck. And he said, if y'all need a good Georgia story, I have a million, including getting beat with a billy club by a cop in shithole Knoxville and thrown in jail. So, like,
God almighty.
yeah, keep them coming, Dusty. I'm interested.
Dusty, why don't we get Dusty to do a selfie video and tell the video
there
and
it
show
is.
us your face and send that to Tiggy, and we'll put that on there and watch it and comment afterwards and talk. Pause it and talk through it.
Just give us a story. That's a great idea. Send us the video, tell us a story, and we'll
we got to get we need your facial animations though to know the effect. It gives the full effect of what's really going on is better than reading it.
Absolutely.
Going back to the pauses and the stops and the breaks.
That's right. No, exactly. Hell yeah, let's have some fun with it. I think it's a great idea.
That is hilarious, and I could only imagine. Yeah, right, being up the road from Atlanta, and another thing, Georgia has the big golf culture because of Augusta, and that's right in between Atlanta and Athens. So everybody drinks and golfs, and I mean and then like I said, you got the water, you got all them lakes. What do people do at lakes? Party. You got a coastline over there. Everybody parties. Got ATL. Whoop whoop. Atlanta gets crazy.
For sure.
And all the college towns, part of Statesboro, Georgia, Tifton, Georgia. I mean, just good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Played a frat party one time at Georgia Tech, and that's where I realized one of those guys was telling me it was like 7-1 guys to girls, and I'm like, ugh, boys. Tough call there, boys. I don't know. I mean, they were all engineers. They're probably all super loaded on their nice boats over here right now. But I remember thinking, I was like, ooh, that's tough, boys.
It's a tough market. That is a tough market. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
They won that day though, and I remember I think it was a big game. They had everybody went down the street with the goalpost and stuff down Fraternity Row on campus. This campus is basically in downtown Atlanta.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and their little stadium's right there in the downtown. Yeah, for sure. I've seen it for sure.
And I had an uncle that went to Georgia Tech back in the. Gosh, I guess that would have been the 70s, early 70s. Good memories. What he remembers.
For sure. Well, speaking of something, I don't know if you know this because you've been running around all day. So this gives away the day that we're recording this. But did you know that Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys passed today?
I heard that, man. That's tough. It's like it seems like every time you turn around, something like that.
Another legend's gone.
Because who was it? Was it someone yesterday? Oh man, this kills me not to have this written down or remember. Someone else yesterday. Oh, Sly Stone. It's a family affair.
Yeah.
Sly Stone, same age, I think too. I think they were both like 82.
Yep, 82.
And what you talking about contributions to music? And I always use I always say Louis Armstrong to me is the best contribution we've ever had to music and changed music more than anything. But man, Sly Stone and Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys, they both have an argument for that spot because Sly absolutely as a producer and an ear and an artist, I mean, second to none, buddy. I'm telling you, anybody that's not familiar with that outfit or his career or what they did, it sounds crazy. But if you know or want to do some digging around, I promise you will be mesmerized by how influential Sly Stone was in changing music during that era, and on stage and off stage in the studio, all that. And then go back 20-something years before that, you talking about going back to the reason the Beatles call themselves the Beatles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go back to the Beach Boys. They started, that was as revolutionary as Elvis, you know what I mean? It was absolutely huge. That was a whole new sound, a whole new way of recording, just a whole integral part of a change in music that if they're not there, music as we know today would not exist. And both of those artists were those type people.
Well, Paul McCartney has long credited the Beach Boys and Pet Sounds for being kind of what got the Beatles to where they're at, for sure.
Yep.
That's a huge loss. I mean, he was definitely an interesting person. They've had movies, documentaries, all of that stuff, kind of a recluse, but had a lot of issues, mental struggles and all that. But just a shame to keep seeing these legends of music go down. But, such is life. It's inevitable. But this is the first wave of truly pop stars, people, that were of that first generation of rock and roll. A lot of people have died, but some of the legends have been holding on, and they're fading.
Yeah,
fast.
and it's to the point now where it's not freak losses when they were way too young. I mean, these, not that they were old, we're not young, and we're considered old, whatever you want to call that number, but they had been around. It makes more sense for them to pass more closer to the average age that people pass
expire
than Forever 27 Club and things like that.
Right.
When even the Toby Keith thing was way too soon, and different, and those type things. But now we're getting to the point where it's just kind of inevitable and natural. Whether even if they made it and pulled out, it's coming at some point. I mean, with that era of people from the 50s, 60s, that were the pivotal moment of making what it is today.
The pioneers.
The pioneers, right? Because you lost some that came along afterwards, like Michael Jackson,
right?
And then he wasn't a young man, but he definitely was way too young. Elvis. I mean,
I mean, it goes on and on, but no
Keith
doubt.
Whitley.
But yes,
and then now, I mean, all of our legends, like Willie, those guys. I mean, they're 90.
I saw Justin Moore playing on looked like he was on a podcast or something. I'm Over You.
Keith Whitley, yeah,
and he was playing it acoustically, just slamming. God, does he ever play that in concert?
No,
I saw that.
I saw a piece of that video too, and I thought, yeah, it did good. Yeah, we've done some Whitley, but I don't think I've ever seen him do that one. Yeah,
him do that one.
Yeah,
for sure. He nailed it.
I saw him one time do when Merle Haggard passed. We were playing in Louisiana, actually, a Cushata, I think, and he said, we're going to play. If anybody wants to go, the show's over. Y'all go ahead and go. But I'm, in honor of Merle Haggard, I'm going to stay and play some songs. I think he played like another hour and a half of nothing but Merle Haggard songs.
What?
Yeah, he probably played
Holy
like 12, 13 Merle Haggard songs in a row. It was that was a treat there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should describe it as, a treat. Like, those nights are rare, and whenever you have an artist and they're just feeling it, and they're.
And we were in Hawaii when Prince passed. So, both of the two shows we played there, the Waikiki Shell and the Maui Performing Arts Center. We closed the show with Purple Rain, and I mean, it gives me chills. I mean, there's video of that.
Me too.
That was a rock star version of Purple Rain, and did justice to another one that is just underappreciated now. People will never understand how important Prince was, but Roger just went on it was just a great it was just all around great. But those are treats. Those are treats.
Treats. That is right. Well, look, I want to throw this out. We're a long ways into the show, but if you're new to this, hit the subscribe button. Give Bubba and them some love. If you're watching this on the Bubba Army podcast, if you're watching this on our channels after the fact, do the same thing. Leave a comment. Share it with somebody who needs a little chaos in their life, because we always appreciate all the love. JR, I want to kind of get into it, a little Bubba news. I've got a couple of clips here for us to break down a little bit. This is some big news. I'm not going to lie, kind of stopped me in my tracks. Bubba talking about retirement. You ready for this?
Really? Yeah. I did catch a little whiff on a post last night that had me questioning something along those lines.
Yeah, so let's want you to hear this.
If you were up for it, I would be interested in doing like 2 or 3 shows a week and you doing the rest. Calling it the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, but, hosted by Seth Kushner. And I take Fridays and Mondays off, and I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Of course, you got to work them all. But I pay you, I would get with you and compensate you. If we were to listen, well, I think more than ever, I don't mean to interrupt you, but more than ever, I think with me, and I'm not trying to, maybe have misread you. I think that you and I have gotten closer than ever. I think I could actually have a long-term you being with me conversation more so now than I ever could have.
Oh man, we're together forever, like Diddy and the Punisher.
Who's who? Am I got to be Diddy, of course, while you roll in there and be the Punisher.
We might have
right?
to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday deal on that one.
So, like, what I'm saying is, like,
I feel good here. I mean,
I think
it sucks sometimes, but it's not your fault.
I think it would get better if you made like another 10 grand. You know what I'm saying? And with maybe some more bonies.
Yeah, 20 for sure. I think.
Yeah, already. Well,
I don't think you would really do that anytime soon.
I would. No, I would.
You think less of you is more? You think if you had to do 2 fewer shows that you would do better shows in the week? You wouldn't feel as run down? Do you not feel like there's 20 hours worth of content, to produce a week anymore?
No, nothing on a negative side. Like, listen, when you do mornings for 30 some plus years, it just wears you out.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that Bubba could actually hand the show off, or is he one of those that he's just so wired to he's going to do this till he dies in the chair kind of deal?
I see what he's saying. I think he wants the best of both worlds. I think he just wants to dial back his workload a little bit and come a little fresher, get a little more off time, have a little more life, and come in and rock star the shows because he really feels comfortable with Seth and Lummy and those guys and the way they handle the show. And to his point, he and Seth they've been together on this run now. It seems like to me, if I didn't know any better, this was a well-oiled machine that's been running for years. And now, being inside the Army, I know there's been ups and downs and trivial things throughout the years.
Well,
and
sure.
Seth hasn't been there forever and back and the whole story. But looking at it, if you didn't know all that, yeah, this looks like a well-oiled machine, and that makes total sense for the longtime host to step back and let his co-host start taking the load over until it's full, then the split gets more and more,
Sure.
and then he's just a guest. But I also think Bubba's sitting at home and he hears the shows. He's going to be calling in from home or the massage chair or something.
Right.
Still have to get it. Wait a minute. Y'all are talking, especially in the mornings, if he's listening. But I don't see any harm in it. I think even if Bubba wanted to do it, if he can work something out, and that's the thing, he's got to dig in that pocket. I don't know if he's got the PayPal account from Anna still, so he's got to pay Sethy boy, Sethy baby, because Sethy baby's, and we know we work with Seth a lot. We talk to him a lot for the podcast part. Seth is great, man. I mean, Seth is just a likable person, and he's very knowledgeable, and he's driven. He's a no BS type guy too. He can do it all. And I can see it. I love Lummy also. I think between the two of them, they could totally steer the ship.
100%.
And
I don't
still
think
do what Bubba wants to get accomplished.
Yeah.
And it
I don't
might
think
actually be kind of like the whole Bubba gets to sit back and listen for 2 days. So when he's on the other 3 days, he has something
bam, bam, bam to come in about it. Gives him some more ammunition to really kind of dig in. I think it's a great idea for Bubba. I hope that the Bubba Army would embrace that kind of a change. That's the only concern that I have. They and y'all listen to this, I have no problem. I love it, but loyal. Some may even say loyal to a fault. I think it's great. I love the loyalty that's in the Bubba Army, but they want Bubba shows.
Yeah,
they want Bubba on every show. That's just a fact. And I mean, you've heard them say that on shows, but you can look. I mean, we look at some of our numbers and stuff like that.
Think about this though. Bubba's doing that. What if now Bubba has this free time? He jumps on all the podcasts every couple of months.
There you go. Exactly.
Or he opens up since he's at home now, he's going to do a midday live 30-minute
for the Bubba exclusive members or whatever.
Monday recap thing on YouTube just to do it.
Yeah.
He's got more energy. He's rested.
Or go back to his food reviews. People love those things. He'd have more time to do those.
You might not lose Bubba. You might just get more. I mean, how cool would this be? Instead of Bubba in the studio every time, which is great, Bubba on location more.
Oh, God, yes.
You know
I
what
want to see that.
Who does it? You know what I mean? Instead, so Seth and them call Bubba on his phone. Well, there's they got a guy following him with a camera, and there's Bubba at a restaurant trying to order lunch or something. That would be great. that would be gold, or breakfast or something. We're going to check in. Bubba's at breakfast. His first day, he doesn't come to the show. All right, we're going to call Bubba. It's breakfast time. Let's see what he's like. You ain't getting out that easy, and have fun with it. And like I said, and if you go for a little while, I mean, obviously, if the crowd boos too hard, he'll just have to come back.
Right.
But if he gets a little break for a second, and they have Seth, this is where Seth comes in, and Lummy is so smart on these type things. They have a plan in place when the transition happens that some of these things are happening. Like he's not on the show that week, but he's on Operation Pigmentation for the first time, or he's on the line over the line show, or on this show, or one of the shows as a whole guest for the whole segment or something.
Right. Oh, I think it could completely expand everything if they go down there that route. I think it gives space for Bubba to explore the space and to really kind of dial it in exactly. Dude, he's been doing this shit a long time, not just here. He's been doing it on Howard and all of that stuff on all of that. Dude, he's been doing this for a long time. That shit would get old after a while. I mean, I know he loves doing it, but it's a job, and every day it's the same grind, and especially their morning show. It's basically topical, what's trending and what's going on. That's what they're going to be
passionate about it.
Oh yeah,
but at some point, your body. I mean, it's the same like me with touring. I mean, I'm still passionate about it, but boy, the travel and the stuff is just tough. And I know, and I've only got 20 years in. If I get once 30 hits, I'm gonna feel. At some point, you just don't want to
be done.
You don't want to be gone all the time. You just don't.
Right.
You want to be home more. And I think that's what he's saying. Why he's doing the Monday, Friday off so he can be home, because it may work better if he did Monday, Wednesday, Friday on and just took 2 days off that way.
I think Bubba also wants to get laid more. And I think
so
that
he can go out and party more on the weekends and not have to get up on Monday. Yeah, I get it.
Hell yeah.
I support it. I support whatever they want to do. And
for sure.
Obviously, well, I guess if there was something I did think was silly, I would say.
But I really don't. I'd say it. But
yeah, that's honest. I really feel like they're talking about it. Ain't happening this week, but get a plan together. Make sure to do some, find out, get some polling on this thing, make sure things will be good. Sponsors aren't going to bail, crowd's not going to leave, all that. But I don't think they will. And it gives more, and then bring on more guests. Handpick. Bubba's still going to handpick, and Bubba's still going to have his finger on everything,
For sure.
I said. And then if it expands out and he takes 2 or 3 weeks off to rest up, then he comes back and he's doing this segment, or they're following him with a camera crew doing some different kind of stuff. I think it's great. I'm all about it. And like I said, if he gets bored at home, he can always come back and do it like he was before.
Exactly.
It's better that than him just deciding he wants to take 3 months off or time off indefinitely because he's just wore out.
Right. No, that's a damn good point.
Load management.
NDA
reference. Load management. See? Load management.
Load management. Load management. All right. Before we get completely off the rails, I want to and you're not expecting this one. I want to talk a little bit about this new Carter 6 album. Look, Wheezy's been untouchable for a stretch. His mixtape run, those classic ass verses, the Carter series. The Carter 3 is my favorite, by the way. But this one, I don't know, man. I'm going to let our friends at Operation Pigmentation tell a little bit about their thoughts, and then I want to get your thoughts as well, JR. Listen to this.
What Black Twitter was saying about the Wayne album. Best part about finishing this Lil Wayne album is that I won't ever have to hear this shit played anywhere again. This says, man, Lil Wayne needs better friends because this album should have never seen the light of day. Also, the production is atrocious. What was that?
Wow.
Lil Wayne and his team have been on a mission to ruin his legacy. They finally succeeded with the Carter 6. This is not Carter level. The worst Carter album. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, I agree.
So and the reason I bring it up is not necessarily for Lil Wayne and people that like rap and all that. It's about artists like you said that you've grown with, that were there for your childhood. And now Lil Wayne's 42 and he's putting out music. And there's still guys
there's guys that's older than him.
Jay-Z's
doing
in his
quality music.
Yeah, Jay-Z's in his 50s, and just to bring a Pusha T, like he's in his late 40s.
Yeah,
and
then you got E40, you got
Kanye's in his late 40s.
Scarface.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in their 50s.
50s, yeah, 50s.
Yeah, you got Busta Rhymes, 50s. I'm talking about complete albums that are worth a damn. Don Tripp. There's a lot of rap. Currency.
Do you think age has anything to...
Nope. It only does, the age only has something to do with the consumer.
I totally agree. I haven't heard the record, but I agree on that last comment 100%. I agree on most of those albums. I hadn't heard some of them, but I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't think it's an age thing. I'm gonna have to listen to this record because I too am a huge Lil Wayne fan. My wife, bigger than me, she loves Lil Wayne, and we haven't listened to this record yet. But man, wait, excuse me, the way they come across, it's bad. I got to hear this.
Well, and I mean,
did you listen to it? What do you think?
have. I listened to it when it dropped at 11 o'clock that night. I listened to it in its entirety, all 19 songs, and I mean, maybe it's a little harsh. I don't think they're totally completely off base. I thought there's some good songs on there. There's 3 or 4 good songs. The Island, they do a cover. He does a cover kind of Weezer's Island in the Sun, whatever that Island vibe, whatever that song is. I love that. You will hear that. That song will be a hit from the album. But the rest of it, I don't know.
Is the production bad? Does it not sound good?
I thought the production was fine. He does say the Carter Six a lot in every song, just not every song, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think what people are more upset about, the stuff I've read, they don't really like the rhymes. They think it was kind of lazy. He can't remember the words like he used to. Just all of that kind of stuff. Hot take, though, man. This is kind of a hot take. Even though he's older, I don't know if he's necessarily wiser. He sounds kind of tired a little bit, but I mean, I'm a Louisiana boy. You know this. And I was legit pissed that he didn't get the Super Bowl halftime because how are you in New Orleans? How is he not going to be like, all the people he could bring out, just a celebration of New Orleans. But I've seen a few clips of him performing lately, and I'm going to say I think they made the right call. I don't think I know they made the right call. I think they knew what they were dealing with, and I don't think it was a Jay-Z and Rockefeller, all them. They didn't want to have Weezy on there. I think that could have happened, but I think they couldn't trust him to show up and do the performance the way a pro does.
And I haven't kept up on the tabloids, which I just try not to do in general unless it comes across. But do you think he's sipping on scissor herb a little too strong these days?
I think so. The boys on OP, I encourage everybody to go check that podcast out. The latest one. I think he's on all of the above. I mean, they talk in that show too about how he has a 42-inch monitor for words. Look, I don't think I can't hate on anybody that has that, especially as many lines as he has. Dude, as he has to remember.
Yeah,
that's impossible.
I saw George Jones. The first time I ever saw George Jones play, I noticed on stage he had a teleprompter, and he was had the words to "He stopped loving her today," and I'm thinking, he don't know the words to "He stopped loving her today," but he sang 5,000 songs in his career. You know what I mean? He's an older gentleman.
Yeah.
Why would you not have one up there? I always thought it was a good idea.
If just in case, I think it's a great idea.
It's expensive though. It's a whole cost, and you got to have somebody to run it, to program it, change it, because if songs change or wait and stop, you got to have a programmer, and then the cost for the equipment, and it is a little bit of an expense.
Well, Justin Moore doesn't seem to need a teleprompter.
But there's times when we could, for sure, because he misses a word here and there. I mean, it just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens to everybody. Well, Jamie Johnson does have a teleprompter, and Jamie is a wordsmith, and he has a teleprompter because he changes his set a lot. It's a backup. He subs that. He doesn't have a big light package because he likes his lights just to be on and normal. So he uses that budget to make sure he has a teleprompter and a guy to run it.
I think that's a damn good idea. I mean, I know that at 311 and Nick Hexum uses it. Why wouldn't you?
You've got
a large catalog of music. Yes, you know the words, but just in case you're playing and you're like, oh shit, and there it is, and you don't.
Yeah.
It just makes the quality for everybody in the audience that much better because you ain't gonna mess up lyrics.
Yeah, you sneeze, you forget your place, your stomach's hurting, you somebody's waving something right. You're trying to read a little sign. My first concert, something like, where was I on that?
Exactly.
And so I get that on Weezy. I hope he's okay. That would be my first thing. Is everybody checked in? Is he good? And sometimes it's his album, it's his creativity. Maybe that's just maybe that's exactly how he wanted it to come out, and it's art. You just don't like this picture as much as the last picture he painted, and the next painting might be your favorite. You just don't know it yet.
That's right. That's right. Continuing on with that same show, they talked a little bit about, and I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you've seen this viral "Good Night, Bro" thing that's going on out there. Have you even know what I'm talking about? All right, good, perfect. I didn't figure you did. So listen to this. Seth will explain.
Guys will call up other guys, their friends, and say goodnight to them just to get the reaction.
No,
you guys haven't seen.
No, I haven't.
Hell no.
And if you call me with that,
I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
I plan on doing that with you guys one time.
No, don't do that.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You're gonna change the dynamic of our relationship.
Yeah.
No, but you'd be very confused, wouldn't you?
No, I'm gonna cuss your ass
Yeah,
out.
that's what's going to happen.
You call me late night talking about something. I just
You're
want to
the
tell
person
you
that's
good night.
confused.
I'm gonna be like, what kind of shit you on,
No,
Self
man.
Money?
I'd say, like-
I ain't on that shit now.
No, I'd just say, hey, it's like, I go to bed early, like 8, and I'll call you and be like, hey, man, I just wanted to say goodnight, dude. Great show today.
No. No.
If you call me with that, you might get punched in the stomach.
You might get punched in the stomach. I would be confused as well. I've heard them say that about other stuff when they were talking about somebody wanting to go taking them shopping. It's like, no, he didn't take me shopping. We just happened to go shopping together at the same time in the right car. Well, so I get it. I'm not quite as hardcore on some, but I totally understand where they're at. But I would also be like, what do you mean? Good night. What something you are? I would think, are you okay? What's wrong? What explain? I need an explanation for sure. I don't know if I just jump to that. I would need an explanation, or like, are you hammered or something wrong? Are you calling because you need somebody to talk to? That's just where my heart goes. But I totally understand.
Suicidal?
Yes, exactly. Do you want
okay?
to talk? Yeah, call me. I feel bad if people text or call me at night and I miss it, or I have to call them back and I don't, or something. I'm like, man, I hope they're okay. I'm praying, man. So, I just, you want to, but it's tough sometimes. But still, if anybody needs me, call me. Please call me. I'll talk, whatever.
Yeah,
and I would,
same.
But I also understand what Craig and Rio are saying. It would be totally like, man, you ain't got to tell me good night. Say, hey, love you, buddy. So I would rather, I'm a love you, buddy, love you, brother, more than, all right, good night, man. Like, good night, bro.
Well,
I ain't going to bed right now. I don't know why you telling me good. Why are you telling me good night? I ain't quite going to bed.
Exactly.
And I don't need nobody tucking me in but my wife.
I think this is just Gen Z trying to mess with us, dude. I think that, either that or it's some new form of male bonding that we've been missing out on. I ain't been missing out on shit. Yeah, I can tell you that. I'm not into it, but it's hilarious. I've seen a lot of people, and it's mainly these girls that that are in their early 30s, late 20s, and they get their significant other, their husband, whatever, and they record them calling. Like, they had a video, and I'm ashamed of this, but it'll probably happen at some of y'all's schools too. Y'all can go look it up. I don't care. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU's quarterback. Love him. He's a gunslinger, all that. Well, He got baited into this deal, and his girlfriend did it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is not what I want my QB1 doing, like,
of all the things he needs to be concentrating on.
Yeah. But I'm also 20 years older than him at the almost 30 years older than him.
Right.
So maybe I just don't understand, but, I think it's just the generation below us and below the people below us are just getting soft as hell. Is what's happening.
You think is any of those residuals off them people eating washing powders or Tide Pods? I think this is just some of this is finally affecting the brain path. These were kids that did that. Now they're doing silly stuff.
I think that's it.
I love it. No, that was good stuff. I always love their take because, like I said, they just shoot straight. I mean, I detect no lies in Craig and Rio.
No, I don't either. But
you're
not
no problem with anybody's sexual orientation or any of that.
Nope.
But it's goofy. It's like, what do you mean? Goodbye, good night, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
What's the wildest text that you've ever gotten from like a band member or an artist that you could say on here that's something like, what? You don't even have to name the name, just the text.
God, that's a tough one. I don't know about anything along those same lines, but
it's nothing. That's exactly my point.
Yeah,
none of that's never happened.
That. I've gotten hey man, I know I should have rode back with y'all, but I ended up going with these people to party, and now I'm walking down a dirt road in Georgia. Can you come get me? And I'm like, are you kidding me?
No, yes. I can't. Yes, I'm, like, yes, I'm hammered as shit.
I will, because I need you to tomorrow, but buddy, this is not good.
No,
me and John party in the van going to pick up the steel player walking down a dirt road in Georgia after playing a club gig. Wake up from the hotel. I'm like, you got to ride with me, Junior. Hell, I'm hammered. Somebody's got to ride with me to go get Kyle.
Somebody's got to ride for sure. Yeah, for sure, man. Well, look,
that guy quit drinking. So he ain't got married.
I bet he did.
And life has gotten, and not right then, I don't think, but he is rocking now. So shout out to Kyle, the steel player, Nashville, Tennessee.
Kyle, the steel player. Good job, dude. Good job. Well, let's jump into the little segment that we're going to start doing anytime that we do one of these shows, the Tigs Blitz. We do it over on the Tigs Bits podcast as well, so go check that out. Always get some interesting answers and opens up a can of worms that we never expect. That's why I think it's fun. Just some quick hit questions, totally off the cuff. I'll start it with you, JR. I'm going to go with a little music question first. If you could collaborate with any classic country artist, living or not, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Collaborate, put a song or an album out?
I mean, maybe let's look at it in your role. Be their damn tour manager.
Oh, man. And it can't be Justin, obviously, because I already worked for him.
No, it can't be Justin.
Wow. Man, first thought is Morgan Wallen, just because he's only doing 22 shows this year, and I know he pays good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's got a good gig.
For what's going on right now, modern day or all time would be tough, buddy. Because you think about my favorites, but from a work standpoint, boy, that would be a headache.
Well, and then some of the people that you know their history, like, yeah, that would be cool as shit, but I don't really want to be George Jones' tour manager.
Right, right, or Waylon. I don't want to. I would want to be with Waylon in the 70s. I wouldn't be here probably. I mean, but I would say of that, as far as good things and likability, and Willie Nelson wouldn't have been a bad run.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too. Willie That'd be a pretty good run.
He liked to stay healthy with the herbs and everything, and he liked to exercise and do karate and all that stuff. So that would have been fun with Willie. Charlie Daniels. I mean, how fun would it have been to work with Charlie? They did a lot of shows, but man, with Charlie Daniels, the cool stuff he's gotten to do, and just being around Charlie Daniels, that would have been a good one. Modern day, if I had to, if I couldn't work for Justin or Party, I would, Charlie Crockett, just because I love his music and his vibe, and I think that'd be cool to go do that a round of that stuff. Then I would also think it'd be cool to go run with like somebody from back home, like Muscadine Bloodline or the Red Clay Strays, or somebody from that's still really getting after it and on the and doing cool stuff. So I don't know. I know that's 12 answers, but any of those.
Well, I think we'll just officially say Willie.
Yeah,
Willie's the official answer.
Willie's Reserve.
Willie's Reserve is good. If you know, you know. I've got another one for you. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a food one.
Do I have to come? Do I have to throw a couple blitzes at you, or are they all coming at me?
Yeah, you throw me one next after this one. That'll be fun. What's the most unique or unexpected dish that you've ever had while on tour, and did it become a favorite, or was it just like a one-time adventure?
I'd say pho, noodle soup.
Oh, okay. Is that how you pronounce that? I didn't know if it's pho or pho or what.
I used to say pho, and then I heard it was pho. So, but I've seen it faux shizzle and stuff like that. So it depends on what you want it to be, I think.
Right.
I say pho trying to be proper. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. But experience that for the first time over, I think in Virginia somewhere maybe, with my buddy Chris Fortune. son of Jimmy Fortune, legendary singer from the Statler Brothers. And Chris wanted some. We were hungover, and we went and he's talking about these noodles and how to do it at this Vietnamese place, I think it was, in a strip mall. And buddy, it was so good, and I am hooked. I love some fun. I seek it out now.
There you go. There you go. See, that's what's so fun about this. Had no idea what your answer would be. I've had it a time or two. I think I could get more into it. Our friend Gabby Wilson, that on social media.
What you cooking?
What you cooking, Gabby? Go follow her, everybody. She's incredible. Makes amazing food. She makes it. And she had a video walking through it. And it's not really as difficult as I thought. You know, right. I don't know if I could make it, but
I'm sure it's probably one of those things. If you wanted to get super integral and take 2 days to make it, you could. Or there's the abbreviated version that Gabby makes that is just fine.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it. All right, I got one for you here, and it's the same. And this is before I even got that question. This is the one that I had on my mind. So it's funny that it's food related. But you being a food connoisseur and I guess the voice for food influencers as far as covering what they do, you've eaten a lot of food, a lot of good food. And if you had to pick your favorite restaurant and favorite dish of anywhere you've ever had, childhood to now.
Ooh, jeez.
You know what I mean?
That is tough. That is tough. I think that, man, I can't remember exactly.
And we can't go grandmother's chicken and dumplings because that would be mine.
No, I'm going to give you
got to be a restaurant and a
No, I'm
meal
going to give
from
you a
restaurant.
restaurant. It's no longer open, and I cannot remember the name of it. It's if it was, I could look it up if it wasn't closed. But it's in Lafayette, Louisiana. I do know that, and it was like a veal Parmesan chop kind of deal with like a risotto and stuff like that. I would say in a restaurant, that would be the top meal that I've ever had. Again, it's closed now. Just, a white cloth kind of restaurant in Lafayette, Louisiana. By the way, and this will be coming out on a future episode, y'all will hear, the best food in Louisiana is in the 337. It's in that Lafayette area. I know that everybody loves New Orleans, and when you think of Louisiana, you think of New Orleans, and you think of food in New Orleans, and New Orleans food is amazing. There's zero doubt about that. If you want to go to New Orleans, you can get the fine dining aspect of Louisiana food, that French kind of influence. If you go to Lafayette, Louisiana, there's so many unbelievable restaurants, more country cooking in a sense, but country Cajun, it's Acadian. I mean, it's still a major amount of French influence and all of that, but they just do it in a little bit of a
not
different
as fancy, more home
not
cooking.
As fancy. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. But that meal at that place, and damn it, I wish I could remember the name. However, the best meal I've ever had, period, was, and this is a fortunate deal. I was at a dinner, a private dinner, where we had Chef John Besh was the chef that night. He prepared the dinner for us. There was, I think, about 10 of us that were there.
Wow.
And it started off with like this salad. It was a wedge salad with quail eggs and this bacon that came from this place somewhere in Tennessee. And they were perfectly cubed, fried. Just, dude, it was just another level. I've never had a wedge salad any better ever.
Right.
And those little quail eggs, this was just stupid. And that was just to get it started. They had, I think, some kind of a fancy like French onion soup kind of situation next. And then it was a several course meal. Yeah. I believe you could have steak or chicken or whatever. Of course, I went with a steak, and it was just perfectly phenomenal. But it's that wedge salad that is stuck with me. And that's an odd thing. I didn't think I would say that, but that wedge salad, like, if I go somewhere and I see they have a wedge salad on that menu, I'm like, all right, this better be good. And I've been to some places that had it slamming, just perfect. But I ain't ever had one better than that. Ever, and I doubt I ever will.
I too had never ate wedge salads growing up till somewhere, and it was good. And then I'm the same. I hunt out a wedge these days myself.
Yeah, There you go.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah, coming from someone who primarily is meat oriented with seafood and meat, barbecuing and things. It'd be funny to have a salad as yours, but hey, that's what it.
That's what it is.
And for the record,
I didn't think about it.
Yeah, and going on that and talking about New Orleans, my favorite restaurant, if I had to go one place and just eat there, would be Arnaud's in New Orleans in the French Quarter. I know people say there's better restaurants and this and that, but to me, Arnaud's, just give me some escargot and then just start bringing whatever you want to bring to the table after that, and I'm sure it's going to be so good. But you're right. I've had some great meals in Lafayette up that way, man.
Oh, yeah. It's the Vermilion Cafe. That was the name of it. I just
remembered
it.
Cafe.
But it wasn't a cafe. It was in
restaurant.
This fancy, it looked like it was almost in an antebellum home kind of situation. Yeah, it was great.
I went to one of those.
Good question.
I think it was one of the Emerald restaurants recently over there in like the Garden District, and it was an old house turned into a restaurant, and man, it was friggin' good. Can't remember the name. It was a friend of ours' birthday a couple years ago. We all went, but golly, it was good. And I've been fortunate. That's the thing. I have been really fortunate to have a lot of great meals in my life.
Oh,
when you were talking about that, I was just thinking, man, I'm uber lucky on that because my parents were great cooks, my grandparents, and then as college was kind of bland, but started experimenting with different things, and then as an adult, through the travels and connections and stuff, and restaurants or hunting camps or different things, just exposed to all these different things. And I've always said this too: it doesn't matter what the ingredients are; it's who's cooking it. Because there's things that, like I always use this. I remember the first time going to Tunica, Mississippi, playing a casino show, and I'm going through the buffet, and they have Brussels sprouts. I'm assuming they're going to taste like my grandmother's Brussels sprouts. Well, I throw one in my mouth and chomp down and realize real quick, everybody don't cook like grandma. So I was like, Brussels sprouts are gross. And then I realized, no, it's who cooks. It's the same with food from other countries. It sounds crazy to us, but if, the right person cooking it, I bet it's delish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you got another one for me, and we'll wrap this puppy up.
Yeah, this goes to music. You've seen a lot of concerts. You've been, probably been to clubs, big venues, festivals, all that stuff. What's your favorite place to go watch a concert, and who was your favorite act or favorite single, not your favorite band of all time, but your single best concert you ever went to? And venue. That's a two-part question. A venue don't have to be the same, and the best concert you ever went to.
All right, perfect. Easy answers for me. My favorite venue is right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the Varsity Theater. It's an old theater that they gutted out, and turned into. It's small. I think it seats or stands. Ain't no seats. Stands about 1,500, maybe 2,000, maybe 2,000. So it's tight. They used to have this huge analog, like in the Dave Grohl soundboard, whatever that show was, documentary. They had one of them, and one of the last ones.
An Eve console.
And it sounded so good. They changed it out. It's not. They do, and it still sounds good in there because of the way the room is. It's probably better, but you could get that real rough analog kind of fuzzy warmth feeling,
and it's set up like a club, not really a theater. Yeah, we've played that. We've played there back in the day with Wayne Mills.
Okay, yeah, I figured you probably played there. I just love that. I love that place, and
Great
still
venue.
do. They don't have as many concerts there anymore. They're starting to try to, you know how those places go. They probably don't make that much money at the end of the day, and people.
It's tough now with Live Nation stomping everybody out, and
exactly.
Independent venues super tough these days.
The bigger acts even a mid-tier act that used to have come through there. They don't do that anymore because they can't afford it. They just go to somewhere in New Orleans or whatever, and they skip, or they play in the River Center a lot now in Baton Rouge if they're big enough. So the Texas Club here in Baton Rouge has had a huge resurgence because of that, and I know you played there.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as venue, the Varsity Theater, #1 concert of all time, without hesitation, not even close, was in the Cajun Dome in Lafayette, which I know you played there too.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Metallica in 1997. It was just ridiculous. It was the tour, it was called, and you have to be careful with the way you say this, Cunning Stunts. There's a DVD, you can watch it, or you can rent it on Amazon or whatever now. It's Cunning Stunts, and they always do something crazy. But on this tour, and there was no internet, there was internet, but it wasn't enough that it was getting passed around, and like
there's no social media.
There's no social media. But at the end of their show, like when they started to play Enter Sandman, they had these lights, and throughout the night they're going up and down and all these awesome things, pyro, and just 2 stages. Lars is over here, he's over there. They're running, it's huge center deal, and then bam, Enter Sandman. You see a guy run out. You see a speaker drop first. The speaker kind of moves, and it was right, like we were on the front row on the seats, not on the floor, on the front row of the seats. And that speaker moved, and I saw it, and I looked at my buddy, and I was like, dude, that speaker just kind of moved. And then you see this roadie come out and run up, start climbing up the ladder, that's a string ladder, and he falls off of the ladder a little bit, catches, and then gets down. Meanwhile, another person starts to run across the stage. A tower collapses. The pyro goes off. That dude's on fire, running across the stage on fire. People are over there tackling him, spraying him off with the deal. You just hear just the end note, a high squeal of a guitar, like they stopped playing. And it was at the end of Enter Sandman. And they just stopped playing, and then like the whole audience, like it did. Nowadays, if you did that, everybody would know about it and people would go crazy. It was dead silent for
everybody
about
was freaking
5
out,
seconds.
thought it was real.
Everybody was freaking out. I looked at my buddy. I was like, dude, we got to get the hell out of here. This stage is about to blow up.
Yeah.
And I mean, thought it was real. And then you could tell after 10 or 15 seconds that this is part of the show. A light came on, and they kind of made it to where you knew this was maybe this isn't all real. And then they come out, and they each individually hit like one of those lights with a string, then played all right in one little part of the stage that happened to be right in front of me. Gives me chill bumps just thinking about it. I think they closed that show with Hit the Lights.
Wow.
And it is just, my ears rang for 3 days. It was the second loudest concert that I've ever been to. The loudest, the Beach Boys in 1988 in the Centroplex here at what's now the River Center in Baton Rouge.
Wow.
They were so damn loud, I couldn't take it. Now, I was 10 years old, so that could have been a part of it. But between that one and that's a good question. But that is easily
Metallica.
I can answer both of them easily. Yes,
that's wild too. I'm just picturing in my head the stage thing. Yeah, it couldn't happen now because people freak out and
yes,
But man, I bet that was a spectacle. That's awesome.
It was insane. Like nothing's ever going to top that for me.
No.
There's no way anything ever tops that.
That's amazing.
And it hasn't, and it won't. Because God knows I've been to enough. I've given it a very fair shake to beat it. It hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Well, man, I think this was a fun one. That's the beauty of this is we don't really ever know what we're going to do. We do have a little bit of an agenda. We want to hit on some stuff, but then I think where we're at our best is when we just get going and we start free rapping like we did tonight, and that was fun.
And have some things to comment on and talk about. It was fun hearing from the OP guys and Seth and getting to talk about them. And I'm interested to hear how this turns out with Bubba and his plans to ease back on his workload and give more responsibility to Seth and hopefully a raise,
Yeah. Hell yeah. Pulling for that 20 grand, Seth.
You love how Bubba threw out 10 and Seth said, 20 should get it done.
Yeah, 20 sounds good.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I love it. That was so good. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. It was great to catch up with you today, Tiggy, and thanks for everybody for always tuning in and supporting us on all our different platforms and things we do. It's much appreciated. I know we don't say it enough, but we definitely appreciate all you guys and gals out there in podcast land, YouTube, video land, wherever you're hearing or watching this, we appreciate you.
No doubt. So until next time, we'll see y'all.